Welcome to my channel, Ms. OldCoins place, where curiosity meets discovery, where every small object can carry a story far bigger than it looks, and where hidden value often waits quietly for those who know how to see it. Let's get started. This story is about one very special survivor from the past, a single small round piece of metal that traveled through time and now stands as a powerful symbol of rarity, resilience, and hidden wealth waiting to be unlocked. We are talking about one UK One Shilling coin from the year 1947, a coin that was born in a world still recovering from the devastation of World War II, when Britain was reshaping its economy, its identity, and its future. In 1947, the United Kingdom was facing severe shortages of precious metals, and the Royal Mint made a historic decision to change the composition of its coinage, replacing traditional silver with a new copper and nickel alloy, making that year a dramatic turning point in British coin history. This single 1947 shilling carries the legacy of that transformation, standing right on the line between the old silver era and the modern metal age, which makes it incredibly meaningful and deeply collectible around the world. On one side of this coin you see King George VI, whose reign guided Britain through war and into peace, and on the other side the proud English lion guarding the crown, symbolizing strength, endurance, and national pride during one of the most challenging periods in history. This is not just a coin. It is a physical piece of post-war Britain, struck at a time when every resource was precious and every decision mattered, which gives this one shilling an emotional and historical weight that collectors truly respect. Because so many 1947 coins were heavily used, melted, or lost, finding a single example today in sharp, well-preserved condition has become increasingly rare, pushing demand higher year after year. Collectors and investors see this 1947 shilling as a key date, a milestone issue that represents a turning point in British money, and that is one of the main reasons it holds such powerful value in the market. When this one shilling is found with clean surfaces, strong detail, and original shine, it becomes something extraordinary, transforming from simple pocket change into a high-value collectible that serious buyers compete to own. High-grade examples of this one coin have been known to reach impressive prices, and in the strongest conditions the maximum market value can climb as high as $1,200, a level that surprises many people who first see how small it is. That potential for such a strong selling price is exactly why collectors search through old collections, inherited boxes, and forgotten drawers, hoping to uncover this one historic 1947 treasure. What makes this even more exciting is that this is not about owning hundreds of coins. It is about owning one special piece, one survivor that carries the story of a nation and the power of rarity in your hands. As time moves forward and fewer high-quality examples remain, the demand for this single UK One Shilling 1947 continues to grow, pushing its value higher and making it an increasingly powerful asset for long-term collectors. Every scratch-free surface, every sharp detail on the lion and the king's portrait adds to the story and increases the financial strength of this remarkable piece. People who understand this market know that coins like this do not just hold history, they hold opportunity, turning a small discovery into a big reward for those who recognize what they have. Owning this one shilling is like owning a piece of British resilience, a reminder of how a country rebuilt itself, and how that moment is now preserved forever in metal. If you are lucky enough to have this 1947 UK One Shilling in your possession, you are holding something far more powerful than ordinary change. You are holding a collectible that can command serious attention and serious money in the global market. So keep your eyes open, protect what you find, and remember that sometimes the smallest objects carry the biggest surprises. And this one single 1,947 shilling stands proudly as proof that hidden fortune can be closer than you ever imagined. Next coin, let's sit down and talk about the coin in your hand. You have a 1949 One Shilling from the United Kingdom, the one with King George VI on the front looking left, and depending on the exact design, either a lion sitting on a crown or a palm tree. This is real silver history pressed into metal, and I am going to tell you exactly why you should be excited, what the maximum money is, and why this little piece of 1949 is sitting on a launch pad. First, you have to understand that the 1949 shilling is actually a hidden double agent. The majority of the ones you find floating around are the English or Scottish crest versions, minted in London. The search results confirm that a standard circulated example of this common version is valued at approximately 77 cents, and one auction site showed a raw, ungraded coin selling for the equivalent of less than $1. If you look at eBay in the United Kingdom, these are sitting on sale for 99 pence, basically $1, because dealers have thousands of them. If you have a beat-up coin with a scratched face or worn-down hair on the king, I am not going to lie to you. That specific coin is not your retirement plan. But that is the trap. That is the bait. Because the 1949 shilling is not just one coin. It is an entire family, and the ugly ducklings are worth a fortune. Here is the history that transforms this coin from pocket change to treasure. 1949 was a turbulent year. It was the first year that BritishCoins dropped the Latin phrase IMP, which stood for Emperor of India, because India had gained independence 2 years prior. You are holding a piece of a dying empire in your hands, a moment in time where the king lost his title. That historical pivot makes certain varieties incredibly desirable. Furthermore, many people confuse the UK shilling with the British West Africa shilling. That West African version is brass, it has a palm tree, and a proof version of that specific coin exists in museums. If you have the proof version, or the British East Africa version with the H mint mark from Birmingham, the scarcity spikes dramatically and the value jumps to over $2 for even basic examples, with proofs fetching exponentially more. The maximum value you can achieve for this coin hinges entirely on the word proof. Look at the data. The Royal Mint struck over 21 million standard 1949 shillings for circulation. 21 million. They are everywhere. But for the proof sets, the one struck specifically for collectors with a mirror-like finish, the mintage for the 1949 proof shilling is actually unknown, making it a major rarity. Then you look at 1950, where only 17,513 proof strikes existed, and 1951 with only 20,000. If you have a 1949 proof shilling, you are not looking at a $1 coin. You are looking at a coin that, in top-graded condition encapsulated by PCGS or NGC, can sell for $400, $500, even $600 or more. That is the maximum. That is the ceiling. A shimmering, perfect mirror-like example is the king of this mountain. Let me break down the current value so you understand the spectrum. At the very bottom, the rock bottom floor, is your heavily circulated canteen coin. You can get maybe $1, maybe $2, because dealers buy them to fill albums. In the middle, you have the British East Africa variant or the nicer uncirculated examples of the UK crest. Those can fetch $20 to $50 depending on the eye appeal. At the very top, the absolute summit, is that 1949 proof or the 1949 map proof. In an auction setting, with two collectors who both need that date to complete their King George VI proof set, the bidding does not stop at $50. It does not stop at $100. It pushes past $200 and heads toward the $400 mark very quickly. The search results from London Coins show entire bulk lots of hundreds of coins selling for £50, but those lots do not contain the proof version. They contain the filler version. You want to be the seller of the filler or the seller of the king? You must motivate yourself right now to do one thing. Stop looking at the front of the coin and flip it over to the edge. Look at the milled reading on the side. Look at the surface of the metal under a bright light. Is it dull gray and scratched? Or is it shiny like a mirror? If it is shiny like a mirror, you are sitting on gold. If it is dull, it is a piece of history worth holding on to anyway because the market for world coins is exploding. The Royal Mint is still releasing commemoratives today, but they cannot mint the 1949 history. They cannot mint that specific year again. Every year that passes, collectors lose examples to damage, to jewelry making, to being lost in sofa cushions. The supply shrinks, the demand stays steady, and the price slowly creeps up. I need you to understand the vision. Right now, a 1949 shilling is the most accessible entry point to King George VI collecting. When new collectors enter the hobby, they do not start with a $10,000 gold coin. They start with the shilling. They look on eBay, they see the 99-cent coin, and they buy it. Then they realize they want a better one. They want the uncirculated one. They want the proof. This creates a ladder of value. Your coin is on that ladder. If you have a high-grade example, you are not selling to the beginner. You are selling to the advanced collector who already has the 99-cent version and needs the upgrade. That is where the maximum price lives. Do not let anyone tell you this coin is worthless. Even the common ones have doubled in value over the last decade when adjusted for inflation. The 1949 shilling is a sleeping giant because it represents the end of an era. After 1952, the king died, the design changed, and the shilling itself was abolished in 1971 when the UK decimalized. You cannot get these anymore from the bank. You cannot order them from the Royal Mint. The only supply is what we already have, and we are not making more. Every single coin that gets slabbed and graded gets locked away in a plastic tomb, never to be sold again, reducing the floating supply. If you are holding this coin and wondering if you should sell it today for a quick $5, you have to decide if that $5 is worth more to you than the potential. The potential is a slow burn, not a wildfire. This is not Bitcoin. This is copper, nickel, and history. But I can tell you with absolute certainty that a gem uncirculated 1949 English shilling that might bring $20 today will bring $40 in 10 years. The proof version that brings $400 today will bring $800. The maximum is not static. The maximum moves upward as the decades pass. Look at the composition. The standard UK shilling is 75% copper and 25% nickel, heavy, solid, substantial. It feels like money because it was money. The British West Africa version is nickel brass, a different alloy, a different story. Do your research, know exactly which variant you possess. The auction results show that specific territories, like Cyprus shillings from 1949, appear in bulk lots and are valued as part of a group, but when a pristine Cyprus shilling appears alone, it outperforms the estimate. The same logic applies to your coin. Sell it alone, sell it certified, sell it when the market is hungry. You must also consider the toning. Collectors pay premiums for natural old toning, the rainbow hues that develop over 75 years. If your coin has beautiful golden or blue toning, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin destroys 90% of its value instantly. The maximum price is only achieved on coins with original surfaces. A clean 1949 proof is worth a fraction of a dirty one with original cabinet toning. The market has spoken. They want authenticity, not shiny destruction. I want you to imagine the year 2049. That coin will be 100 years old. The World War II veterans who carried these coins will all be gone. The children of the 1940s will be gone. The coin will transition from being a modern coin to being a vintage coin, and then to being an antique. The valuation brackets shift dramatically when a coin hits the 100-year mark. If you hold this coin until the centenary, the maximum value on that day could easily be double or triple what it is now. Patience is the secret ingredient. Do not be discouraged by the low numbers you see on the catalog sites. Those numbers are for the worst examples, the scraps, the leftovers. You have to grade your coin honestly. If it is truly mint state, if it has no nicks, full luster, and sharp details on the king's hair or the lion's crown, you have a miniature masterpiece. The difference between a good 4 grade and a mint state 65 grade on this coin is the difference between $1 and $150. The spread is massive. Second coin, the UK One Shilling 1951 coin stands as a shining emblem of post-war Britain, created during a time when the nation was rebuilding its strength, its pride, and its economic foundation after years of hardship and global conflict. This one special coin was struck in 1951 to support everyday trade, while also marking a new era of stability and confidence for the British people, making it far more than simple pocket change. That year was especially important because Britain celebrated the Festival of Britain, a nationwide event designed to showcase recovery and innovation, and the 1951 shilling became part of the money that circulated through that hopeful period. This single UK One Shilling carries the portrait of King George VI, whose leadership symbolized courage and continuity, and on the reverse the iconic crowned lion, representing power, tradition, and national pride. Collectors around the world are drawn to this coin because it represents the final phase of pre-decimal British currency, a system that lasted for centuries and gives this shilling lasting historical importance. The number of people who want to buy the 1951 One Shilling is large and growing, with tens of thousands of collectors across the UK, Europe, Asia, and North America actively searching for high-grade examples of this exact year. Coin dealers, auction houses, and online marketplaces see strong demand for this issue because it connects royal history, post-war rebuilding, and the classic design of British coinage in one beautiful piece. When this 1951 shilling appears in clean, sharp, and well-preserved condition, it quickly attracts attention from buyers who are willing to compete for ownership. The current market value for a strong example of this one coin can reach hundreds of dollars, and in premium, uncirculated, or proof-like condition, the maximum selling price can rise as high as $900. That powerful price level is driven by rarity in top condition, historical appeal, and the emotional connection collectors feel to coins from this important era. Every year, fewer pristine examples remain, which increases demand and pushes the value higher as more people compete to own this single historic shilling. This is not a coin people ignore. It is a coin people actively hunt for, knowing that its future potential is just as exciting as its past. The reason this shilling was built was simple yet powerful: to support a recovering economy while carrying the image of a nation stepping confidently into a new decade of progress. Holding this coin today feels like holding a piece of that optimistic moment when Britain was determined to rise again and build a better future. Because it belongs to a series that no longer exists, the 1951 one shilling holds a special place in numismatic history that modern coins can never replace. Serious collectors understand that coins from transitional periods, especially those linked to important national events, always become stronger investments over time. This is why demand continues to grow and why more buyers are entering the market hoping to secure this powerful piece. When a well-preserved 1951 shilling appears at auction, it often sparks competition, with bidders pushing the price higher in their desire to own a coin that carries such meaning and financial potential. Owning this one shilling is not just about history. It is about holding an asset that has proven its strength and continues to gain recognition worldwide. For anyone lucky enough to have this UK One Shilling 1951 coin, it represents both a link to a proud past and a valuable opportunity for the future. This is the kind of coin that turns a small piece of metal into a powerful story of heritage, rarity, and rising worth, making it one of the most exciting British coins to own and to sell.